All right, man, let's do this. We got trades, we got not trades, and we got to start with Giannis. I now officially feel a little embarrassed for uploading a video like a week ago that says the Giannis trade is definitely happening. Look, if Giannis agrees to an extension with the Bucks, this all goes away. But we all believe that the Bucks, they just weren't going to accept the deal at the deadline because all of the offers they're getting, they can get in the offseason, but they'll be better offers and more teams can make offers as well, right? Like you really just open the floodgates if you wait till the offseason. But also, and more importantly for them, it gives them a little bit more time to make whatever moves they can make with whatever assets they have to convince Giannis to stay. In the offseason, of course, you know what I mean. Now, the big thing is their pick this season where Giannis wants to play, based on the reporting, whenever he's back from this calf injury. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what those conversations are going to be. And, I mean, if it's a very high pick and you can get Boozer, DeBonsa, or Peterson, that's amazing. Even if it's lower than that, I don't think they should deal that pick, but who knows. And again, in case you're yelling at me about, well, they don't control their pick, I know. The Hawks get the better of them and the Pelicans, but them and the Pelicans are bad. It's still going to be a high pick. It just won't be the better one of those two. And then after that, 1 year will roll over for their draft picks. 3-year window they have where they actually do have picks to deal, that becomes a 4-year window. So there's little things there, and maybe they can't get a number 2 guy next to Giannis. And by the way, for everything I'm saying right now, it might just be the trade happens this offseason, and that's that. But they're going to try, right? And if they can't get that number 2 guy next to Giannis, at the least, can you just get good two-way play around him? You got Rollins, you got what's left of Miles Turner. If you can get like a couple of defenders who can shoot well enough, and also fire Doc Rivers, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And you can just be like the 10th best defense in the league, and then you just got Giannis and hopefully enough spacing on offense. Like, that's a formula to just be good enough to where Giannis signs the extension. That's a lot of things that have to go right. They've already tried to do that, and the team's bad. And again, we'll see what happens for the rest of this season. Now we can talk about the Ja trade that has not happened, where the Grizzlies, by all accounts, they were very open to doing it, but nobody was willing to go to wherever they wanted to go to. And based on the reporting, that price wasn't particularly high. But if you look at a team like Miami, who obviously wanted Giannis, they might be viewing this as, we could get Ja. Like, Miami definitely could have gotten Ja if they wanted him, but then that would remove some picks that they could still, in their eyes, use to go for Giannis in the offseason, where they now have to compete with who knows how many teams versus this deadline, which was them. I mean, the Warriors' picks heavy package got rejected, and then the T-Wolves attempting to basically change their entire team to where it would have been Ant and Giannis, and who knows after that. Obviously, that didn't happen. They got Ayo. We'll get to that when we get to it. And so for Ja and the Grizzlies the rest of this season, I mean, honestly, I would like to see him play. I mean, maybe it's just irreparable, this relationship, and maybe they just want to maximize sucking. I mean, how many teams now are just like, we don't care about winning at all? And some of them just made trades, the Wizards, the Jazz, you know. But Ja, he's got 2 years left in his deal after this season, and so I wouldn't say his market is going to be much different at all between right now and the offseason unless something we don't see coming happens. I mean, I guess Ja missing games is not too surprising at this point. So yeah, now I think that Ja will not be on the Grizzlies next season, but what do I know? How much Zach Edey are we going to see the rest of the season? Like, I want to see some real minutes of Zach Edey and Cedric Howard because, I mean, that's the franchise now. And shout out Ty Jerome, just came back. He's been doing some stuff. Okay, now let's get to some trades that actually happened. And we got to go right to the Zubac to the Pacers deal, which I thought about making this its own video, but there was like 30 minutes left to the deadline. I didn't know if Ja was going to get traded. Whatever, here we are. The Clippers have decided it's not happening. This momentum thing that we're on, once Harden, once that all went down, the floodgates were opened, and that was that. I mean, early in the season, as they were like 3 in a million losses, I was like, I don't know if they're going to trade Zubac because they're going to want to try to figure it out. And then they did figure it out, and he's still gone. How do you feel if you're Darius Garland? Like, you were thinking about Zubac screening for you, and now that's out the door. And this does open up the possibilities again of OKC getting a lottery pick, along with now Jared McCain. We'll get to that. No idea how Kawhi's feeling about all this, but he's still on the team. So, as far as the assets go, it feels like the Clippers did really well here. You're getting 2 unprotected firsts. The details of one of them is weird. You're definitely getting the 2029 unprotected first from the Pacers, and then you're either getting this year's pick if it falls 5 through 9, and if it doesn't, you're going to get the Pacers 2031 unprotected, and you're getting Mathurin. If you're a Clipper fan, like, I'm sure it sucks to lose Zubac, but this return is good to me. Like, I think the Clippers did a good job here. Although some of that's going to depend on just what you feel of Mathurin. But hey, now you have Mathurin and Garland, two not perfect. I mean, when Mathurin's case, is the playmaking really there? Is the efficiency there? The answers so far have been like kind of no, but I mean, he had the pop-off game in the finals, and he's had huge moments, right? Like the talent is certainly there, the drives and the tough shot making are there, but it's the consistent play-to-play boring stuff that Mathurin has to get better at, but also the way he wants to play and the way the Pacers played, there was a clash in styles there, right? You get him, you get Garland. If Garland can get over the toe injuries, then okay, you got more of a semblance of a future. And if that pick falls 5 through 9, then you're looking even better. Although they are going to have to agree to an extension with Mathurin. For the Pacers, I mean, first off, there was just no way the Celtics were going to compete with this. Like, I wanted Zubac. Granted, it wasn't going to happen after they got Vooch, but they just were not going to compete with this. I'll say this. If the Pacers were not the Pacers, I would think this is probably way too much for Zubac. But you can make a claim that I will make that Zubac once again puts them in title contention, assuming that the Pacers' magic of the playoffs continues. And so if they continue to be that good, then okay. Because dealing what could be like the 5th pick in the draft, because they're going to tank like crazy now to keep this pick, but is still going to at least be one unprotected and potentially just another unprotected in the future with Mathurin, that's a lot, man. There's no doubt. But as far as Zubac's fit with the Pacers, I think, yes, he's not the shooter that Miles Turner was. Even then, it's not as if teams were terrified of Miles Turner. Like, he often was left open because somebody's got to rotate, or else it's going to be Halliburton, Nesmith, Nembhard, Siakam, layups, right? I think Zubac, I mean, he's definitely a screen setter. He's definitely a DHO guy. I think Carlisle can put up sets where you can have multiple screeners. You can have Zubac screen for Siakam. You can have like Halliburton throw the ball to Zubac at the top of the key and then immediately sprint into the DHO, and then his defender's trailing him, and then Zubac is cutting, and you could run these same sets with Nembhard as well. I can imagine like, you know, Zubac setting an off-ball screen for somebody, like let's say a Nesmith, and if he gets open, then Zubac's defender might have to step up a little bit, and then Zubac is going to cut. Like, the Pacers are going to find ways to get Zubac moving in all types of ways in that offense. It's going to create advantages. The ball is going to keep on zipping around. I think all that's going to be totally fine, even if he's not the shooter that Miles Turner was. The couple things I do wonder. Number one, Turner got really good at not just screening, but like slip screening, like screen real quick for Halliburton and then get out of the way. Zoo, maybe it'll take a little bit of time for that. I don't know. The other thing I imagine is Zoo in the dunker spot as Siakam is facing up on somebody. The floor could get a little cramped there, but I just want to say again, like, I really do think the Pacers will find a way to use Zoo as a screen setter in a better way on and off the ball than maybe anybody in the league could do. I mean, even if teams are playing off of him, they will find ways to weaponize that space. Whether it's Nesmith, Nembhard, Halliburton, of course, TJ, whatever it might be, right? And then defensively, I mean, it's Zubac. Like, we know what he is on defense. He can protect the basket. He can also play high up on screens. Their rotations on the back end, I think, are going to be good. But of course, you're asking him to be more of a rim protector, I would imagine. Now, as far as just pushing the pace like the Pacers do, there could be more of an adjustment period there. I'll give you that. I mean, the Clippers have been one of the slower teams for a while. I think Zubac naturally fits into that more. Not to say that he can't turn on the jets, but he's just not a big guy that you think of in the high-octane Pacer offense. But look, if Zubac is underneath the basket with the other team's center, and then Halliburton is at the half-court line after the ball goes in or it's a rebound or whatever, you're still going to be able to create advantages there because you're still going to freak out the other defense. They're going to have to get back quickly. There's going to be mismatches. They're going to be backpedaling, all that stuff. You're not going to have the Miles Turner trailing threes, though, in those situations anymore. So it does get me thinking about what that looks like, but I don't find myself that concerned about it. Like, I think the Pacers are still going to cause problems for teams in transition off of makes and misses with Zubac or with some other center. As long as Halliburton is not a different player after the Achilles, which I don't think he will be. I think he'll be normal Halliburton. So that's nice for the Pacers, but Celtics in 6 when they play each other in the conference finals next year. And for the Clippers, I mean, you know, you got Brook. He started their last game. You got Niederhauser. Okay. Now let's go to this Porzingis thing as the Kuminga story is now over. I kind of view this as a contract thing more than anything. I know Porzingis, I think he was close to playing in a previous one, but I'm just not really betting on us seeing Porzingis much. He's on an expiring deal. I mean, if the Warriors brought him back next season, it would be on way less money, which I suppose is possible. And obviously, if he's healthy, then, I mean, we see his value as a rim protector and a shooter. But we've been saying that for who knows how long now. It's just between just his injuries and this illness that messes with his heart rate, it's just kind of tough. But if we see him for any extended period of time at all, yes, he provides the Warriors much needed everything that Porzingis does. Steph Porzingis pick and pops. Interesting thing to think about. If Jimmy was healthy and the floor was even more spaced out after Porzingis, I mean, the odds of Jimmy and Porzingis ever playing together in a Warriors jersey I think are pretty low, but I'll just mention it. It would have been cool. And then as far as Kuminga with Atlanta, I mean, I don't know. I'm just picturing the Jalen Johnson-Kuminga situation. Although even as I say that, where's Kuminga on the pecking order here? Because you got Nikhil making shots where it feels like he touches the ball for half a second and he's already going up for the three. Jalen Johnson's the guy now. I don't know. Kuminga's going to get some shots, and then we will learn if just all of the Kuminga conversations over the last couple of years were really worth it or not. I mean, we see the potential of just this downhill one-on-one scorer. Next up, Jared McCain going to OKC. The Sixers are doing this so they can get under the tax. This feels so gross to me. I mean, I get it, okay? McCain's coming back from the injury. VJ's got that spot now. And I'm not going to say that McCain was great this season or whatever, but we saw like that 10-game stretch as a rookie or whatever it was, and a Rockets first this year. I mean, all right, it's a pick in the 20s. It just feels like one of those trades where you better be right, because if you're not, you're going to look real bad. Honestly, him becoming awesome for OKC, nobody would be surprised. They certainly have the defense around him. Did this have anything to do with them being able to retain Barlow? I think that was part of the Gordon trade, whatever. Next up, let's go to my Celtics. They get Vooch. Simons, it was a good time, man. Anthony Simons is good with me. I hope that guy ends up on a team where he's just got a consistent role and all that stuff. As far as going from Simons to Vooch, I mean, I kind of view Vooch as a better Garza, I guess. Although even then, I mean, Garza, with how hard he's been playing, like I wouldn't even be shocked if there were some games where it was like, let's say Vooch's shooting isn't there that game, and then Garza comes in and just grabs some offensive rebounds or whatever. Again, Vooch is better than Garza. He's more talented. He's a better low post scorer, even though I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of Vooch post-ups, but when he's got a mismatch or whatever, I do want him coming off the bench. I mean, the Celtics, they just somehow beat the Rockets with, I mean, there was no Jalen, there was no Simons or Vooch. Ron Harper Jr. was starting, like it was a weird one, but they had Keita helping off of Amen, and it was a huge thing that slowed down the Rockets' offense, especially in the third quarter. So I just want Keita to still start. Yeah, Vooch provides them a 5-out center who can cook against bench lineups, and I think if he's playing against bench lineups, then it's not going to be as easy for other teams to attack him defensively. So I get all of it. It's just when I was thinking about the Celtics getting a center, I guess in the vision I had was someone who I could foresee being like a difference maker for a long time. And I mean, maybe they bring him back on a cheap contract, but I mean, whatever. They got Vooch. It ain't so bad. He's averaging like, what, 17 and 10? I've seen people bring up the idea of him playing with Keita. I kind of don't predict that, to be honest. I feel like the Celtics really love just the mobility of four guys who can really move like that. Like, yeah, Vooch can shoot, but he's not going to be able to move like Hauser can move on the three-point line, relocating, all that stuff. Ball handling does get a little lighter with Simons out. Now, that's on the court. Off the court, the Celtics, they created, I think, a $27 million trade exception because of, don't ask me how, but they did. So that's really nice. It's because they used the Porzingis trade exception anyway. And speaking of Simons, let's go to the Bulls. So how many guards is it? It's Giddey, Ivy, Trey Jones, Simons, Sexton, Dillingham, Yuki, and then Mac McClung. I mean, shout out Mac McClung. And also Yuki doesn't really play that much, but when he does, it's cool. Anyway, I'm sure you've seen Kenny do a rant video about the deadline, and he's probably talking about this. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I'm not really sure what the solution is for the rest of this season. You can mess with the lineups however you want to. You got to play two of these guys together. I mean, you've got like 5 guards who expect to play, and you've got Dillingham who you're hoping they can develop or somebody can develop. Although, to be fair, he just might not be good. Yeah, it just feels like a miss that you couldn't reroute Sexton somewhere or Ivy somewhere or whatever, but I mean, especially Ivy's market just probably wasn't very good. And Buzelis' development is still the most important thing on the team overall. But they will, I guess, try to tank now after Kobe and Vooch are gone here. And the roster just makes no sense with the positions. But unfortunately, because this is the Bulls, they're like 5 games below 500, where the bad teams are way more games below 500. No, I gave them too much credit. They're 3 games below. They got to start losing. So Kobe White going to the Hornets. as opposed to Colin Sexton being on the Hornets. So Sexton actually shoots better from three than Kobe does, but Kobe's volume is much higher, and we just think of Kobe as an off-the-dribble three-point shooter like that, whereas Sexton has more just really aggressive straight-line drives. Although NBA.com tells me Kobe White averages 13 drives a game and Sexton averages 9. The eye test, I just think of Sexton as like this super aggressive driver, but Kobe gives the Hornets more firepower, no doubt, more just flamethrower potential, really. I mean, you got to worry about Brandon Miller and Kahn and their off-ball movement and transition threes, and now you can add Kobe to that list. I don't know how the lineups are exactly going to work defensively, but it's just more firepower. And as for the Bulls, yeah, they waited too long. They did not get the most for Kobe that they could have. As far as Io and the Wolves, I do like this one. I like it enough to where it probably shouldn't have been 15 minutes into the video, but okay, here we are. So I do like that Io can just provide a bit of everything for the Wolves. The three ball's been good this season, and you might think that Io is only taking wide open threes. Like if you went through his 3-point attempts, there are some like pretty tough ones in there, like off the dribble ones, or just there's just like a little bit of daylight for him to go up with it. Just some aggressive drives as well. Like he's not just a keep the ball moving and never try anything as a scorer. Like he does try, right? You do still have just the flow of the game passes, which he's going to be asked to do more of with the Wolves. I do think we could see him more energy on defense with the Wolves just because he's not going to have to do as much as a ball handler with these guys. It is kind of like another bet to find a new Nickeil Alexander-Walker for them because they just didn't really find it this year. Terrence Shannon and Jalen Clark just didn't get there. But I do like it. Like I think Io is a guy that you can have on the court in the fourth quarter of a close playoff game. The only thing the Pistons did was get Kevin Huerter, I believe, and I got a kick out of Pistons Twitter seeing that Kevin Huerter's just not as good of a shooter as he was some odd years ago. It might just be a random thing. I don't really know, but I will just bookmark. They did not really do anything. They did not make a big splash. They did not go for MPJ. And if they end up losing in the playoffs because they don't have enough scoring around Cade, you could mention it. I mean, maybe you want to hold the assets for something else. Like, that's fine. Kennard to the Lakers. We will see if the Lakers shooting curse is real. I don't know exactly what lineups you can put him in, given that they're already not good on defense. And Kennard, it just seems like teams end up giving him away for not much by the time he's done with the team, but okay. Alvarado to the Knicks is cool. I think Knicks fans are going to end up loving him. Maybe was in high school in New York, so they already kind of like him. Deuce being hurt, that's rough. It also made getting Alvarado pretty essential. The Hawks give away Vit Krejci. Was a little surprised by that one because he's been good for him, but okay. Oh yeah, Chris Paul to the Raptors. They sent my GOAT to Canada. I think that's it, man. Deadline's over. Do I keep up tradition and talk about the Grammys at the end of this video? The best part of the show was Tyler's performance. He was great. Lauryn Hill was great. Gaga was great. Sabrina was good. I don't know why Bieber was in his underwear. I think that's it, man.